What's up, guys? With a Throwdown podcast, coming at you with a mock draft. It's a one-round mock draft, 80 days out about. It's a lot of stuff has come out about rumors, what's going to happen in the draft. So we're going to dive into depth on every player. Let's get into it.
The Chicago Bears are on the clock at number 1. And most likely this is a trade down spot because the owner already knows that they're going to keep Justin Fields. There's a lot of teams that want to trade up here. You could take any players on the board from Will Levis, Bryce Young, Will Anderson, Tyree Wilson, Jalen Carter.
All franchise guys.
All franchise guys. But I think the Colts are 100% the number 1 trade up team.
Yeah, alright. Colts have now traded up to the number 1 overall pick in the draft.
And now the Indianapolis Colts are on the clock.
Alright, who are they taking with this pick?
It could be 4 different guys, honestly. It could be any 4 of those guys at QB.
Yep.
Bryce Young, they could want the tiny guy with the most skill right now coming out of the draft, the most NFL ready quarterback, they say, coming out of this draft. Or you could get Will Levis, the biggest ceiling quarterback who could be the next Josh Allen or like Andrew Luck.
Yep. Will Levis is taking number 1 to the Indianapolis Colts.
No question. Opportunistic is something that they can do a good job of this year. 4-man rush. Levis from the pocket. Coxon fires. Complete midfield, and here we go. Robin seem to love everything they see out of Levis. Levis, that's what they love. That's an NFL arm right there.
Rides the play action. Has plenty of time to crank it up and go downfield and into the air.
Hurting on 3rd downs. Levis on the run. He'll have the first down and more. He's to the 10, to the 5. Big collision around the 3-yard.
White. Levis looked that way, looks off, fires over the middle. It's complete. It's
Houston Texans are now on the clock. Who are they looking at?
They got a lot of options.
Yeah.
Well, now that DeMarco Ryans is their new head coach, he loves his defensive players. Do you take your QB of the future, or do you stick with Davis Mills for a year and get one of the many QBs next year?
Yeah. I think that you take a defensive player because there's right here we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe franchise defensive players that could change a whole team, honestly.
Now, would you rather want the next big type of Khalil Mack and Von Miller, or do you want the next type of like Aaron Donald or Chris Jones?
The second pick, Houston Texans are going to select Tyree Wilson.
To the left for Williams. He'll look to throw. Defense coming. He steps up, and Williams will be wrapped up. Double team.
Oklahoma State's on the docket next for Texas Tech. That's going to be 5 straight AP top 25 teams. That ball's loose.
sound with your defensive scheme. Deep handoff this time, and Texas Tech ready for it.
All right, with the New York Jets. And dug in. Sack from able to get.
There he's got time again in the pocket. Now steps up, now thrown down.
Turnover.
On 3rd down, Leary steps up. Down he goes.
Number 3 to the Arizona Cardinals. This is looking like a trade down spot, honestly. Because I don't think that there's anyone here that is very, like...
Jalen Carter's probably the only guy that they're looking at.
Yeah.
And they're thinking that maybe they could get Brian Breezy down the board or another edge rusher. The Carolina Panthers are going to trade the 9th pick this year, their 3rd rounder this year from the Niners for Christian McCaffrey, their 2nd rounder in 2024, a third rounder in 2025, and safety Xavier Wood for only the third pick in the draft by the Cardinals.
Yeah, the Panthers are now on the clock. Who are they looking at?
Could be Bryce Young.
Yep, could be
Bryce Young.
Are we looking only quarterback here? I think so.
I think quarterback is the main move right here. Okay, say I'm Scott Fitter. Okay? Say I'm Scott Fitter. And you're Frank Reich. We're talking in the GM room. Do you want Russell Wilson? Do you want the next Cam Newton? Or do you want the next type of, like, I don't know who you could compare CJ Stroud to. Let's say, like...
That's a very interesting person to make a comparison to.
I know. I would say CJ Stroud is kind of like a Big Ben and mixed with, like...
Shoot, I would say, like... Almost like,
Big Ben reminds me of, like, a big... I mean, not Big Ben. CJ Stroud reminds me of, like, a Big Ben and John Elway.
Yeah, John Elway is really good, honestly. Because he's...
So, do you want the next Russell Wilson, John Elway type, or Cam Newton type?
I don't know. If you're the Panthers, are you going to want to replace Cam Newton just like the Colts tried to replace Andrew Luck? Anthony Richardson comes off the board at number 3 to the Carolina Panthers.
He can spin it. Play action here. Steps up in the pocket, looking downfield. Now he'll take off and run. The whole left side of the field. Wide open for Richardson. Touchdown! Anderson goes in motion. What a play by Richardson. A ball fake to keep it alive. Richardson on the keeper. Touchdown!
Fakes it to ETN, loads it, and fires. Got it again.
Chicago Bears are now on the clock.
And if you would have said that the Bears would trade down to 4 and still have Bryce Young, Jalen Carter, and Will Anderson on the board, you would think we're crazy.
After getting, right now, I would say Jalen Carter, but
We just got DeForest Buckner.
Yep. That takes him off the board. I'm just thinking Will Anderson. Just take
You
the
have
shot.
to take the best guy available on your board, and that is Will Anderson now.
Yep, alright. With the 4th pick, Chicago Bears select Will Anderson.
And the logo. And they'll try to run it. And Anderson, with a fistful of jerseys, starts the tackle, like most successful in the country last year outside the numbers. And he heaves that one incomplete. It's a touchdown in all 3 halves.
Okay.
Oh, boy. Wow. Will Anderson doing damage. 31 on the edge. And they run towards him, and guess what?
Alright, Seattle Seahawks, notorious for trade downs. I would say, I would say that they would trade down right now, but they have arguably the worst run defense in the league.
And you also have the top quarterback on the board, so they probably don't want to trade down here.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll and John Schneider are talking right now, and they're like, hey, what do we want to do?
Okay. It's either, do you let Bryce Young develop under Geno Smith for a year?
And we get the next Russell Wilson?
Or do we get the next Aaron Donald type player who is just a future Hall of Famer like Aaron Donald?
I say we get the next Aaron Donald.
Next Aaron Donald. Alright, with the 5th pick, Seattle Seahawks select Jalen Carter.
Jalen Daniels would like to, but Jalen Carter's got him again.
And I wonder if Kirby Smart will dare take a timeout here.
From his own end zone. He waited too long, and down he goes. And it's going to be a safety.
They're just about exactly the same statistically as they were a year ago.
Josh Williams did not get it.
Man, that's hard to believe.
It's an honor to wear number 18 now for LSU since that year.
Detroit Lions are on the clock.
Now, Detroit is good now. They're a good football team. They're playoff competitive. Now that you don't have any more picks from the Rams and you only have your picks next year, you guys won't ever be in the top 15 again, probably.
Yeah, for at least five,
10 years. Yeah, you guys are good now. You guys are competitors now. So, if you guys are sitting at 6 with LA's pick, where you got Matthew Stafford, you guys have a chance to take one of the top 2 QBs on the board. You have the number 1 QB in the board.
Yep.
So why wouldn't you take him?
Yep. The 6th pick, the Detroit Lions selecting Bryce Young.
Couple of big runs tonight. Now he's got the sideline. Here goes Bryce Young into open field. Little stutter step back inside.
Young pumps it, looking, steps back in the end zone. Touchdown, Alabama!
Came over from the Yellow Jackets. Bryce fakes to Gibbs, goes to the sideline. Nice catch and move by Holden towards the end zone. Touchdown.
The Raiders are on the clock. They can go many ways here. They can go take the first defensive back in the draft. They could take C.J. Stroud.
They could take the first tackle.
Yep. I don't know. What are you thinking here?
I think knowing how the draft works, knowing how the combine works, and knowing how the Senior Bowl works, I really think that they'll go for the best player at the Senior Bowl and combine.
Okay, and who is that?
DeJuan Jones.
Interesting pick over Paris Johnson, his counterpart at Ohio State.
Yep, I think DeJuan Jones will get the most hype this offseason in the draft. And he will be the first tackle taken off in the draft.
Yeah. Okay. Then the 7th pick, the Raiders are picking DeJuan Jones. Falcons.
I mean, you could go Brian Breezy, you could go Miles Murphy, you could go C.J. Stroud, you can go Paris, you can go Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah.
You can go so many
You
things.
can go anywhere here. I'm thinking probably C.J. Stroud. I mean, Desmond Ritter's not good.
He is not good, and he has no one to sit behind.
Yep. Because Marcus Mariota just quit. Or something happened.
Yeah, he just quit.
He just quit. He's just done. C.J. Stroud, only quarterback worth taking first round. Left on the board. At number 5, I think you got to take a shot at it right here.
Yeah, you have to. You just take him.
Atlanta Falcons at number 8 are going to be taking C.J. Stroud.
They bring late pressure. It's picked up. Stroud right down the middle. Touched.
That in big games, there's always a player that's going to rise up to the occasion. It was Ibuka.
And in this particular case, the big player rising to the occasion is the pass to Ibuka for 8. Another throw by Stroud, looking for a lot more than 8. He's got a lot more than 8.
Like the Arizona Cardinals.
See, the Cardinals could do a lot of things, but like I said earlier, the Cardinals are looking for an edge rusher and a defensive inside guy.
Okay, there's 2 on the board right here.
But why not just trade down with the team that's looking to trade up and still get a defensive player? The Tennessee Titans will trade the 11th pick in Bud Dupree to the Arizona Cardinals for the 9th overall pick this year.
Tennessee Titans are now on the clock. Who are they looking at?
I mean, you just jumped in front of the Eagles, whose Lane Johnson is old. They could be getting a tackle.
Yep.
The Texans could be looking at tackle. Cardinals could probably get a tackle or somebody to help out Kyler Murray. So why not get arguably the best tackle in the whole draft?
Pierce Goronski coming off the board at number 9 to the Tennessee Titans after a trade up. The Eagles are now on the clock.
Now Eagles, since the Titans did not take Paris Johnson Jr., are flying to the board with their ticket for Paris Johnson Jr. to replace Lane Johnson.
The Paris Johnson is taken with the 10th pick by the Philadelphia Eagles. Arizona Cardinals are now on the clock after trading down 2 times.
Now, after getting an edge, Miles Murphy is kind of just off the board.
Yep.
I think in free agency, they'll get somebody for the defensive inside.
Okay.
So you need to help out your defensive backs.
Okay, we're looking at 2 good ones right here. Let's go to all of them. You can take Cam Smith. Any of these 4 guys right here are not bad options to take right here.
Knowing how the draft works, they love corners who have the best combines and have the best hips. So who's going to have the best combine, who has the best hips? It's Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah, for me it was between these 2 guys. Best combine, but I know Christian Gonzalez is going to go really early. Right. Christian Gonzalez is taken with the 11th overall pick by the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, they can get back into it. Trout. Boy, he located that snap. Takes the shot back shoulder, and he's picked off. Intercepted by Christian Gonzalez. And a concussion. He told us yesterday. Second down. Right side, and it's picked off again. It's Christian Gonzalez.
Times and now having some success.
Branson going to throw on first down after the punt block. Got away and throws an interception. What a pick! And the return, Christian Gonzalez.
Houston Texans are now on the clock. The Houston Texans, after picking up Tyree Wilson, they got to help out Davis Mills with some targets. Brandon Cooks is getting old.
Yeah, your next receiver is Nico Collins.
Yeah.
And Chris Moore. So knowing the Texans, you have to look at this board and you have to realize who is going to be the #1 receiver.
Quentin Johnson is taken with the 12th pick by the Houston Texans.
Yards away in the plains of the Midwest. Down the middle, got some of it, and Johnston wants a lot of it. Johnston in open space, dragging Kansas. Duggan, pressure coming. He saw it. He releases into the end zone.
But they do need to do it expeditiously.
Yeah, and they weren't really expeditious. Here's a deep throw. Man is open, and it is caught.
New York Jets are now on the clock.
Now, knowing the Jets, George Fant is so old. He's older than box of rocks. Like, he is old.
Yeah.
McDye Becton doesn't stay healthy.
Yeah.
So why not get probably their #1 tackle on the board the whole time in Anton Harrison?
All right.
With the 13th pick, New York Jets select Anton Harrison.
The 25, and they'll run it.
Eric Levy is going to want to run the football. It's going to be Eric Gray early.
Gray again running over the left side. He'll pick up a first down and more as he gets.
Is because the defense has not played well. They've got to improve today.
Gabriel standing in the pocket now, bounces around and finally tracked. Second down and 4.
The Patriots are now on the clock. What do you think they do?
The Patriots, I can see him taking a Miles Murphy type. I could see him taking a shot at Broderick Jones, at Darnell Wright.
Patriots are the hardest team to think of what they're going to do.
Yeah, they always just come out with some weird shit.
Detroit Lions are going to trade their first rounder this year, their third rounder this year, the third rounder in 2024, and their fourth rounder in 2025 for the Patriots' first rounder this year. Everyone's probably thinking it's Brian Brees or Miles Murphy right now. But knowing how Dan Campbell likes to run his high-powered passing offense, you just got rid of T.J. Hawkinson. You just jumped in front of Green Bay, who has a tight end on an expiring contract. And you just gave away your pick that you got T.J. Hawkinson with. So why not get the next T.J. Hawkinson in the perfect comparison to him in Michael Mayer?
Okay. Mike Myers coming off the board at number 14.
Try to throw for it in 3rd and 6. Buckner backpedals and delivers a throw, and the catch is made by Mayer.
They'll fake it to him. Now Buckner fires down the middle. It's Michael Mayer, his favorite target. The Irish in 2021. Got to get him going. Back to Mayer. Breaks the tackle. Now the end zone in front of him if he can.
Green Bay Packers are now on the clock. Who are they looking at?
It's not receiver.
No.
Let's just get that known. They'll never draft a receiver in the first round.
I don't think so. Even with Jordan Addison, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Josh Downs all on the board.
I don't think they would take it. I don't think if Jesus was on the board, they would take him in the first round. They just don't like taking receivers. I don't know why.
All right. So what are we thinking? Are we thinking a linebacker? Or are we thinking
I'm thinking a defensive back to help out Jair.
Okay. They got Eric Stokes already.
Yeah, but why not just have a dominant Jair, Eric Stokes, and a lengthy Devin Witherspoon in the backfield?
Okay. 15th overall pick, Green Bay Packers select Devon Witherspoon.
That's what Brett's saying. That's not reviewable. Oh, Doctor. First pass is... That was...
Freeman with 1 second on the play clock. Over the middle for Holland. It's intercepted. Devin Witherspoon. Room to run. Past Freeman. Again. And
here he is going to the air. Taking a bit of a shot. But it's intercepted.
Washington Commanders. Is this their first draft as the Commanders?
This is their first draft as the Commanders.
All right. Let's hope they make a good selection.
So the Washington Commanders' first career pick. Sam Howell is now your starting QB of the franchise.
Okay. Supposedly.
You don't have a great offensive line. Your tackles or whatever. Your defense is honestly really good, but they just don't know how to play well.
Yeah. So are we thinking
I'm thinking offensive line total.
Are we thinking of Cody Mauch? Are we thinking of Broderick Jones? Are we thinking of Osiris Torrance?
It could be Osiris Torrance. It could be a Broderick Jones. It could be a Matthew Bergeron. It could be any of these guys. John Mitchell could go really early for all I know.
Broderick Jones coming off the board at number 14
and
to the Washington Commanders.
Pittsburgh Steelers are now on the clock at the 17th pick.
And, yeah, this guy's been sitting on the board for way too long.
And now that your D-line's expiring, I think it's time to fill in that hole.
The 17th overall pick, the Steelers select Brian Breesy.
Tucker in the backfield. It was Wes Ho, who was apparently going
against Clemson.
Cunningham, straight drop on third down. In trouble and sacked.
The Patriots, after trading down
with the Detroit Lions.
Yep. Who are they taking?
Lions got T.J. Hawkinson with the new T.J. Hawkinson with their pick. So, Patriots might honestly need to help out the secondary. Devin McCourtney is old. You really don't have any help back there. You have Jabril Peppers, but he's kind of old and his contract is expiring. So I think you have to get a new slot corner safety.
Yeah. With the 18th overall pick, the Patriots select Brian Branch.
Never be satisfied, and he'll be satisfied with this.
Rodgers looking to the right and tries to... 3rd and 11, they heat up the pocket. Daniels.
The Bucks are now on the clock.
Now that Tom Brady is retired, the Bucks are in a weird situation.
Are they looking quarterback here? Is that even on their radar?
I don't think it's on the radar at all. You took Kyle Trask in the 2nd round a few years ago, and then now that Brady's retired, you probably already had a backup plan.
Yep.
With another guy like Jimmy Garoppolo or Derek Carr. But no matter what, whoever goes there is going to have a horrible run game, no matter what. So why not try to help them out with probably the most explosive running back in the draft, in Bijan Robinson?
You're thinking running back, huh? They got Leonard Fournette.
Leonard Fournette's old, and he did not play good at all last year, like at all. Buccaneers in the beginning of the season were statistically the worst run team of all time. It was horrible. And Bijan, if you just put him in that system, that would change right away. He could be like the next Saquon Barkley. Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Bijan Robinson with the 19th pick.
Tight end in motion. Right to Robinson, tiptoeing, finding his running lane. Easy for Bijan. Robinson, good acceleration, slips out of one tackle, stays upright when it looks. Sanders is not that. Keelan Robinson in motion, the carry to Bijan Robinson. How's he do it?
Seattle Seahawks.
Who would have known
back on the board
that the Seahawks, when they were at 5, were deciding over Myles Murphy or Jalen Carter. Myles Murphy would come back to them at 20.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any change of doubt. You run to the podium with that card.
Yeah. All right, with the 20th overall pick, Seattle Seahawks select Myles Murphy. The Chargers. Interesting situation for the Chargers because they can go anything here. They can go receiver. They can go like a defensive back. They can go linebacker. Anything.
I don't know why Lucas Van Ness is so high. Same with Zane Flowers. I think the Chargers could go multiple. They could go receiver to help out Herbert. They can go offensive line. But I think one big thing that could help you out is getting a prototypical player that can play linebacker and edge for you.
Okay, a linebacker and edge. Linebacker and edge, you're looking at Ivan Pace maybe?
I'm thinking Trenton Simpson. He had over 5 sacks, and he was a typical player that could play anything under defense. Safety, linebacker, edge, corner. He's kind of exactly like Isaiah Simmons, but maybe a little better.
The 21st overall pick.
I don't think the Ravens
select Trenton Simpson.
There comes a 5-man rush. Stepping up, getting out of the pocket, Garcia. Gets waffled!
Their touchdown on the ground. Handed it off to Green, who got
Makuba out, Malcolm Green, they're starting nickel, not playing. The ball is out, and it goes out of bounds.
I don't think the Ravens overthink this at all.
No. I think they just go straight.
You have to take the best receiver off the board.
It's Jordan Addison.
It's Jordan Addison. With the 22nd pick, the Baltimore Ravens select Jordan Addison.
Williams pulls it back, and there's Addison, and there's the first USC touchdown. Dye and Jones are the running backs. They're going to swing it to Addison. And he...
Guys, Caleb and Lincoln both say they can finish each other's sentences. Caleb pulls it, gets it to Addison. Addison on his feet, and Jordan Addison will...
All right, the Minnesota Vikings are on the clock. What are they looking at?
Well, Patrick Peterson is really, really old.
Yeah.
He's
still playing at a high level, though.
Yeah, surprisingly. You had Andrew Booth last year who played decently well, but not enough. You could take another defensive back to make your... Just make your defense good again, Minnesota. Your D-line's good. Your linebackers are good. Your secondary is not good. So you know who would change that? Cam Smith, a 6'4" outside boundary corner. He could literally become the next Tariq Woolen.
The 23rd overall pick, the Vikings select Cam Smith.
Uiagalelei throwing the deep ball, one-on-one down there, and it's picked off.
49. Williams wants to throw it. Quick out route, diving in front of it, and it picked off again. The third on the night for Carolina.
That football game, you always do, but they felt really good about it and went the other way on him quickly.
Emory Jones throws, and Cam...
The Jags are now on the clock. I think that They gotta protect Trevor.
You have to protect Trevor now that he's so good. This pick can make the Jaguars into a Super Bowl caliber team.
It's one of these two guys, and I think that their center's already good enough to where I don't think it's a choice.
If you brought in Osiris Torrance, he could become like really good, like a Wyatt Teller type.
Yeah. The 24th pick, Jacksonville Jaguars select Osiris Torrance.
Back to throw, a four-man rush, well protected. Fires one over the middle, and
really good job by Richardson. Watch the left side of your screen come through. There's Pearsall, the transfer from Arizona State, sits down in the window.
And they waste no time. Richardson with a cutback.
It's creating space to the field.
Naquan Wright. Another chunk run.
Right here, I think the Giants are getting some calls.
Yep.
I think some calls are coming up, and this is for a player that shouldn't go in the first round. I think the Saints are calling up the New York Giants now that they got multiple picks from the Sean Payton trade. The New Orleans Saints are going to trade the 29th overall pick in 2023, their third rounder in 2023, and their fourth rounder in 2024 for the New York Giants first rounder.
Who are they giving that much up for?
The New Orleans Saints, when they draft, are known for big guys and for potential.
Okay.
So why not go and get one of the biggest potential guys in the draft? And if he was at a bigger school, he would probably be in the top 5. Darnell Washington.
Darnell Washington's at Georgia.
I know, but I know when you said big school, like when Kyle Pitts was in a school, he was their whole offense in Florida.
Okay.
Georgia's whole offense is not tight ends.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
With the 25th pick in the NFL draft, the New Orleans Saints select Darnell Washington.
Bennett over the middle, pass is caught. You're looking at the big O, Darnell Washington.
The action. Bennett, downfield man coverage. Juggling catch made by Darnell Washington.
All SEC schedule. Only lost to the #1 team.
That pass.
All right. The Cowboys are now on the clock. What are they thinking?
What do you think they could do?
I think they could beef up their interior D-line with Siaka Ika. They could pick up Nolan Smith, Lucas Van Ness. Jackson Smith and Jigba's still on the board.
Okay. Well, Zeke's contract is way too big. It's probably the biggest contract by running back in the NFL, if I'm not mistaken. Tony Pollard's contract is up this year, and he wants a big contract.
Okay.
Zeke's parents said that he was not taking a pay cut, and that's what the Cowboys want to do with him, so he might leave. And Tony Pollard wants a big contract, and they want to franchise tag him, so he might leave. So no matter what, they're going to have one running back. And they love the two-punch running back, so why not get one who can do both in Jahmyr Gibbs?
Okay. Interesting pick.
I'm telling
Cowboys
you, Dallas
fans might not like that.
No,
but
Dallas fans are not like that. You just have to think that's how Dallas works.
All right. With the 26th pick, Dallas Cowboys select Jahmyr Gibbs.
Side of the formation. He's swinging out to Gibbs. Great receiver at Tech last year. And he takes it to the 32-yard line. They won't miss that next time. That was their first play with 12 personnel with 2 tight ends in the game. Here's Gibbs to the outside. And he's knocked out of bounds. We're at practice last on a debut for the freshman. Already 60 yards on 5 catches. And now Gibbs.
The Bills are now on the clock.
I think there's no question about it that you had so many injuries in the defensive backs last year. You have to go with the most complete, arguably the most complete safety in the draft, in Jamie Robinson.
Jamie Robinson.
He's kind of like a Kevin Byard mixed with Derwin James. With the 27th pick, the Buffalo Bills select Jamie Robinson.
Van Dyke over the middle. There's that slant you talked about. Waiting for a call. It might be shot, maybe not. Little trickery here. Jones. And he gives it right back. Hurls it into the end zone. Picked off.
All right, the Bengals are now on the clock. It's an easy
It's
selection.
offensive line.
Yeah.
But
So
who is it?
I just don't think that. Oh, not a corner. I just don't think that there's a guard good enough right now to take first round. Then there's a tackle. And this is the best tackle in the draft right here. Undoubtedly, this is the best tackle.
And I think knowing them, watching all the film this year, and watching the big games, and having that big pass offense like Tennessee had, I think they would want the big pass protector.
Yeah, and Darnell Wright.
I think Darnell Wright will actually end up probably going into first.
Yeah. With the 28th pick, the Cincinnati Bengals select Darnell Wright. New York Giants are now on the clock.
After trading down with the Saints.
I think we all know who it is. Daniel Jones has no...
Daniel Jones has like barely
weapons.
any help. Yeah, and Kenny Galladay was a bust, so why not get a receiver who could be the good Kenny Galladay and Jackson Smith-Njigba?
Next year, Jackson Smith-Njigba and
Wan'Dale Robinson would be
Wan'Dale
scary.
Robinson. Yep.
A scary duo. With the 29th pick in the NFL draft, the New York Giants select Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Throws it. Incomplete. Because he's trying to get that control.
They pull back. Fields has time. Over the middle. Catch made. First down.
John Henderson in the backfield. And they'll throw it underneath. Nice throw. Nice catch. Smith-Njigba on the move.
All right, the Chiefs are now on the board. Where do they need the most help, in your opinion?
I don't think receiver. I think they could get receiver in the second round because there's a lot of receivers for the mid rounds. I think you have to help out Chris Jones because just your run defense is so bad without him. And I think one guy is going to end up going first that nobody's talking about. So with the 30th pick, the Kansas City Chiefs select Mozzie Smith.
Sean Williams in the backfield. They'll give it to him. He's got some room. And LaShawn Williams on the outside. Sam Laporta. They do feel like they're healthier than they've been all year, though. Second down and 5 at the 26. And they'll hand it off again. Caleb Johnson this time. He's a big back. Gavin Williams in the backfield now for the Hawks. Petrus out of the gun. He'll throw it. Here's Petrus to the sideline. And
all right, the Philadelphia Eagles, last pick in the first round. What do they need?
Well, they don't have that big-time safety, really.
T.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah, but he might leave, maybe.
Yep.
And then they have Mike Epps.
Yep, and Blankenship.
Yeah. See,
they're just not that good.
See, that's what I'm saying. I think that's the number one thing that stands out on their team besides linebacker. And if you're the Eagles, knowing them, they like big-time hitter players. They want you players to get the ball out. They want big, prototypical guys. So why not get J.L. Skinner
from Boise State,
probably the best safety in this whole draft, who's 6'4", he's a monster, probably the best run defender too.
Okay.
Yeah, with the 31st pick, the Philadelphia Eagles select J.L. Skinner.
Reverse into the hands of Presley. Presley, the wide receiver, just got lit up. J.L. Skinner.
Popped up in the air and picked off. It's J.L. Skinner.
As O'Brien is picked off. J.L. Skinner with the interception.
All right, well, that was our full first-round mock draft. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and like the video, subscribe.
We're going to come up with a new one right before the draft. That's official.
Yeah.
When we get all more news and updates.
Around 2 weeks or so before the draft gives us a lot of time, to edit it and stuff. We're going to release a full 7-round mock draft. It's not going to be as high edited as this one. I'm not going to make player cards for every single selection. That would take like 40 hours, 50 hours. That would be crazy. But go ahead and follow our Instagrams, linked in the description. The throwdown on everything. So, yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to argue, you can come in the comments and throw down with us.
Yeah. That's a good. I never thought about it that way. That's pretty good. It's gonna be the Dude Perfect intro all over again. I was like, Dude Perfect. All right, see you.